Just keeping it 1,000. I'm just sitting here, just thinking about today. Um, what happened earlier yesterday for me. Because today is now Tuesday, but yesterday I had to take care of some business and, just trying out a product. And I had to get a ride. And the ride, it was nice for her to do it earlier before her 2 o'clock appointment. And, you know, y- you're pressing and trying to do things, you're trying to, make things better for you. And, just trying to create a path, a way of just doing things to keep yourself walking in forgiveness, forgiving yourself. So it's just a vulnerable moment at this time in the 2 o'clock, a little after 2 a.m. Eastern in the morning, Georgia. And I was just thinking here, rubbing, you know, massaging my head and everything, just thinking how, it's good. It's a blessing to be blessed, and you're worthy to have people to help along the way as you is creating a space to help others through your testimonies. You don't want to seem like a charity case or whatever, but I went through some things of making that sacrifice so I can work on the part of, hey Kim girl, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. So I could work on the part of the thing, the project of bus a move. It's called Bus a Move Exit to Thailand, where Gen X is. I'm a Gen X, 59, and I don't mind starting a new chapter in my life, you know. So I'm 59, but I'll be 60 in March, and uh, it's just a project that I would love to see how we would be able to move forward, building our brand. Some of us are, some of us have self-published, self-published book authors, and not having any money, we're building our brand and moving forth on the necessary things to do to make this project move called Bust a Move Exit to Thailand, for Gen X's. And, it could also be where, it's 55 and up, dealing with people that have arthritis and the health issues and getting better health and just better for your money, building your brand, leaving a system, if you're dealing with the government stuff and everything. So this is a project that, we really just taking a moment at a time. So I say this is because I was grateful with some products I had that I was making a sale on yesterday and had to get a ride because one of my exit plans were to do three of you know it's through three things that you're just getting prepared for, and one of them was like me getting off my meds, bipolar, what you call it, bipolar, high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, name it. It was six. Okay, so right now I'm just taking ibuprofen for my pain in my joints and the arthritis and everything. And so I decided earlier this morning to take like five 200 mg for my back pain, joint, knees. And of course, I have to, you plus size dealing with your weight, you know, and everything. And I'm just, hey, Stephus, bro, I can't even hear you, and my phone is on. Why? I'm sorry. Hi, Stephus. I'm sorry. I don't know why you can't hear me. I made sure it was up. Um, Imogen, hi. Can anybody else hear me? Anybody else hear me? So, but anyway, mm. So, and then the second was to release my mother ashes, and the third to get rid of the vehicle because it was a liability. I'm just looking at, what I had to release. Um, and to dealing with my health, wanting to better myself, it was getting off the meds, and then of 3 years holding on to her ashes. I'm just getting rid of all this stuff. It just needed to be. Uh, I needed to release it. And I was so glad to release my vehicle because it was a very bad liability of having it almost 10 years. So working on the project that it will and it is moving forward of Bus a Move exit to Thailand with the Gen X's. It's just going following in those steps that you need to release, and it starts with the person that God is going, is using me to be able to help people to break from the system of whatever it is. Welcome. Hi, everyone. So I'm just keeping it 1,000 as a Gen X, 59 years old. It's okay to start a new chapter. You write your own story, and we can say, oh, I'm waiting on God, 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 God. And all I can hear is, you know, you saying you're gonna do this, do that, do that. And as I can hear in Bernie Mac voice say, bust a move, you know. So that's how it came up with bust a move, exit to Thailand. Thailand came out of nowhere, but that's what it is. It's for people to this is transformation where people no money is still building their brand. And whenever God release, you just taking a moment at a time. And this is to encourage others of whatever they want to do, you know, whatever they want to do. This is a start, you know, just bust a move, as they say, just do it. But I say this is because um, I had some products I had to send out, and my ride was an older person, and it was taking a little longer, and they had to go, texting and said I had to go, how much longer I got to go to the bathroom, and all yesterday trying to get this product delivered out. Things was just coming at it. It was dealing with the email, getting the labor, printed, and just then, we went to CBS, and their thing wasn't working after she was trying, and then said, "Oh, I just realized the system is not working today." And I'm like, we just sat there and went through that and tried it. She said, "Well, I'm very sorry. It was, it's not like, she said, I'm very sorry. We didn't spend anything for that." And everything was very reasonable, to push this product out. So now is for, now the product was pushed out, mailed, and so it just seems like it just is things are just being attacked. You of course you had to make sure that your product is already in the tracking way of pushing on out before you get paid, and all this kind of stuff is like stuff is trying to mess with this and mess with that. So I say all this is, just keep it at 1,000, and to keep, you know, God used me to um, teach you all to be free and stay free, and how we handle things. Yeah, our blood pressures went up for a moment because we both got frustrated, and you own somebody else's timing. But God says, we've been such a blessing to each other. Um, just the things you do and you take when you're moving forward, just keeping it 1,000. Dealing with, hello, well, my name is Paula, and mental illness is real, so is God. So you got to learn how to, if you're gonna be off your meds, and you was taking blood pressure, diabetes, and all this, got to know how to stay cool of situations, and everything. And of course, the other person, we both got first rated. I'm accountable for it, but I was so grateful. She was such a blessing. So we, um, got back in time, and she was able to make her appointment. And I came on in, and it was, like I said, a long day yesterday. And I was tired, and, I had gotten up to take a shower. So that helped push to take a shower, because when I was on the meds, or bipolar meds, it would mess with my mind so bad. Well, I wouldn't shower. I was just only taking wash ups, making sure I'm still clean, but just wouldn't shower. And then because of my lower back and stuff, I have the handicap, and stuff. So, but I'm so grateful. Um, you know, I'm just grateful of the way things happens, the way we have these experiences. God is moving. We still got to be aware of monitoring spirit, gang stalking spirits. They still checking up on you. But I'm going to always talk about what God lead me to talk about. It's therapy. Is what it is. I'm 24/7 on God's timing. I have no timing, no nothing to be on YouTube as a full time creator. I'm just doing what God said do, and 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 all you could do if you got a purpose and you want to talk about something, just keeping it 1,000. God have you on YouTube for a reason, and when you just take that moment and realize, look, I got a goal. And the thing is, you can't help but to be helping others helping yourself when you help others. And you just move forward and continue to do what you're doing. Just and just want to, just look at it and say to yourself, how am I helping others by doing this? What is this about? How am I helping others? Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button. Welcome. I'm Paula, mental illness real, and so is God. So when we deal with these mental health challenges, you can always look at the play later when it uploads. But when we go through these different challenges, it's mental health challenges. It's just the way how we handle it. And so, like I said, like I was saying yesterday, I had a really a full challenging day. And yet when I took a nap, God woke me up after, I don't know, an hour or two nap, hours, I don't know. As being a full-time content creator, still building a brand with no money, but just doing your side hustles on other things, and but yet a full-time content creator. It feels good, but yet it's harder work. And when God told me to get up and do that prayer broadcast earlier, I had to do what I had to do. Mr. Nothing, you Christian? Yes, I am. Hi, Chris Leatherwood. So, Mr. Nothing, say hello. I don't know who you are, but I hope you have a wonderful day. Any struggles you have will pass gently. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Oh boy. Uh, um, Excuse me. This is uncut, unedited, and raw. And you will come out stronger. I give God the praise. I receive that, Mr. Nothing. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, um, yeah, Chris Leatherwood. Yes, I am Christian. So as I was saying, I was saying that after I came back yesterday for a challenging day of, you know, mailing off a product and everything. I was so tired mentally, dealing with the cold and everything, and then you on somebody else's time. You know, it was still it still felt rewarding at the end. Reward. It felt like a reward. It still felt rewarding. And I know some of you out there struggling with things and working a 9 to 5, and probably ain't even thinking about doing a YouTube channel. I mean, you got a YouTube channel, but you just on here just to do your research or whatever. But there's some people, some of you all, God is nudging at you and saying, hey, you know, uh, you got something in you that somebody needs to hear, and you don't know. You're worried about just you like, I ain't got nothing to say on here, or feeling some kind of type of way, just being on here. You just on here just doing your research and looking at stuff, but huh, God has been nudging at you, saying that you supposed to have. a YouTube channel that you supposed to be saying something as well. Now, um, you got something for somebody. I don't know who this for, but you got something to say for somebody need to hear. I don't care what your teeth look like. I don't care what size you are. I don't care what your hair look like. I don't care. You could just start off with just this, because as you look at my other YouTubes and stuff, you can see me even last night when I did the prayer video. I just had to get on here, like God say, get on here, and look at the time, and it's after 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock is when God have, when you get up and go to the bathroom, God have you. He wants to talk to you. Excuse me. That 3 o'clock a.m. is powerful. Either you need to pray, um, just sit up, listen to God. God just got me on here before 3 o'clock to get on here and say something about, hey, keeping it 1,000, just being real, about the situation and stuff. I don't care if it is monitoring spirits and game stalking. I've been there. I've done that before, being monitored spirit, and and watching, you know, different other platforms of people that I used to kick it with, and wondering what's up, and it's a, and that's a mental illness, you know, whether you know it or not. You stalking people's pages and monitoring spirits and stuff, looking at what my ex doing with his new boo, all that kind of stuff. That just, it messes with your mental health challenge, And this is what it is. Hey, I'm Paula. Mental illness is real, and so is God. You just got to keep it 1,000 with God. You got to keep it 1,000 to yourself. You got to keep it 1,000 with yourself and everything. And you just get on here. God is calling some of you all on this station. Excuse me. Excuse me. On this channel, I got a allergy. Of course, it's cold. We're in the winter of USA, but he's calling some of you all here on YouTube to actually have something to say, and just keep it real with yourself. That's all. Dig deep, keep it real with yourself. If you don't, please don't forget to like and subscribe, okay? And um, I've been doing content creating, excuse me, over 10 years, coming and going, coming and going. I didn't take it serious. Now God says it's time to take it serious. And even though I have, other things that, the building brand on, I'm not monetized here, God just told me to just keep going, you know. Um, I enjoy getting on here talking. It's therapy, to share what's going on with you right now, you know. Even though I have therapy on Thursdays, every Thursday, but it's still therapy, and to bless others through what I'm going through and what my mood swing is right now. My mood swing now is to keep it 1,000. Yes, I live with bipolar 2 disorder, but we're coming together as Gen X, you know, just coming out a system where God is just having things put together for us to have a better way of living, and to deal with your arthritis and your health as a Gen X. Where my Gen X is at, And like I say, this project is Bus a Move. It's called Bus a Move Exit to Thailand. And that's where the first beginning of whatever, live abroad or however God doing it was house sitting. However God is working this with no money but building your brand. And my brand is my two self-published uh, books from Author House. They're sketches where I do some one-on-one alignment sessions, mental health challenge sessions with you. And, if anybody interested, they look at my description on my channel description, where is my email or what have you. And we take it from there. Um, it's it's just so important, I realize, to invest in myself, even though if I have the money or not. I look at, why am I doing this? When you invest in yourself, they're saying that you're taking accountability. This is the season of accountability. And a lot of people don't want to be accountable for anything. You know, they always putting it off on somebody else, or it's somebody else's fault. It's my parents' fault. It's the reason why I'm like this. It's this fault. It's his fault. It's her fault. And you just have to really look at your accountability. You have to look at you, what you would take the time out to invest in yourself, um, and your mindset. Because we easily say, "Oh, I don't have any money," but we can find money to do other things we want to do. So it's never that we never have money. It's something that we doing, that we have money, but it's just going somewhere else. I know what it's like to have money. To have money money is an energy, it's a tool for options. And then not to have money, well, I know what it's like to not have money. Yeah, well, not to have money, you still have it, but you just do other things with it. You know, um, it always is the part starts with you forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself. It don't matter how much money you got and what you don't have, how much money you don't have, you know? It's just where it says here, forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve the peace. You deserve the peace. I'm just keeping it 1,000 with you now, whether you're male, female, or whatever. Time out for the BS. You got to look at things when you're out there spending and everything. You got to look at, what are you spending it on? Are you investing in yourself, or is it a liability, or is it assets? Something that you have that are making money off of. You know, that's what we have to look at things. The way we have to look at things. It's the same way we dealing with our diabetes. Come on, Gen X, let's talk. Our diabetes now. When we like our, we like our junk food. We like our ice cream, and you know cheese, popcorn, and all that. And we know, like, okay, if I eat this, this is, adding on to my blood pressure, my weight, and diabetes, and all that. And we gonna take a chance at it, you know. That right there, the money right there. You look at your habits, and somebody will say, wow, man, I need $100 to do blah 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 blah. But you already spending $25 a day for something that you doing. Some people, they smoke weed, and that's what, 25, whatever. I don't know. I'm going by what I've heard people say. Oh, they total it out. It's 150 a week if they buying weed, smoking and all that kind of stuff. And it's the same way. We're no better, junk food junkies. You know, I'm no better. And so it's like, okay, but I still need this. So by me not having money and being broke, I'm gonna get what I want. So I can use this as a cop out. Hey, well, I'm broke. Well, you say that, and you actually will be broke. It's the mindset. We just keep it at 1,000. If you're coming in, welcome. Like, subscribe, whatever. I'm just giving you something. I'm keeping it 1,000. I ain't gonna hold you long. I just wanna, it was just in my spirit to get back on here to say this stuff. It's you know and some of you all, is a lot of y'all like the YouTube for research. It's good. I love it for research and looking at the YouTube movies and stuff, because I don't own no TV and stuff. I don't need no extra bill or cable and all that stuff. I just use my regular little Android phone with already got whatever to it. And it is not that I don't want to grow or whatever. It's that I use what I got. you know just use what I got. Because I know when I was over my mom being her, I forgot what they call it, when she was living with a dementia. And Lord rest in peace. 3 years ago, she died, 86 years old, with dementia. And I'm her only child. But I had to take over and look after her bills and all that. And I'm like, why is this amount 200 and something? What is it? And I looked at it, it was a cable bill. And I sat there a couple of days. It didn't take me but a couple of days, and watched the channels that she watched. And I said, why do you need cable and you still watching the regular channels? I guess it felt like something to have to say, hey, I got cable. But yet I'm still watching the regular news channel. I said, I'm finna take this off right now. So that $200 could be in our pockets. It could be among, because I had to move in with her and everything. I had to drop my life. I had to, get rid of stuff. It couldn't work. For me to live in a high rise with her, I couldn't have no job. And man, it just drove me crazy. It literally did. It literally, that ain't no joke. So I had to go through her. I have never had to analyze things. It really taught me something. And I said, you paying $200 a month for this cable, and you only looking at the regular channels. No. So I ended up getting her the box that pulls those channels, and everything. So we were able to see a little something to really do what we need to do. And so that makes me think. I said, okay, now I have to look at life differently now. And I'm still examining the same thing the older I get. I'm 59, Gen X, and it just got on my nerves trying to still get the medicine. First, the medicine was free, then it was on discount. And I just got tired of just trying to keep up, keeping them filled. Because it really got on my, it really triggered me, just taking me through all these damn changes. And I'm just keeping it 1,000. I said, oh, hell no. No, I'm off this. Because I realized the longer that doctor took to feel it, it was a week. Went on 2 weeks. And God say, look, you haven't been on so and so in 2 weeks. That's what I heard a voice say. And I'm like, wow. I told my therapist, I said, the hell with that. If I'm cool like this with 2 weeks waiting for her, for that particular medicine, then the hell, I don't even need this. Then I just let go of everything. It wasn't an overnight thing, but I did the total thing October this year. And I'm like, my therapist said, well, how you feel? I'm like, wow, hey, I feel like a human being. I feel like a human being. Because when I was on that mess, I felt like a zombie. I just couldn't function right. Only thing is just dealing with is just my body pains and arthritis and all of that stuff, lower back. So I have to continue to walk around my apartment, go outside, walk. I have to, because in the winter I gain weight. You weight go up and down, up and down. As a plus size, you know, woman, you know, I'm just grateful that, I can walk and everything, but I use a cane at times. If I'm gonna work longer distance, I have to stop and pause because of my lower back. Side effects of the epidermis and all this stuff, So you just tuning in. It's about I guess close to 3 a.m. in the morning of the USA Eastern Time. I'm Paula. Mental illness real, and so is God. By me living with bipolar 2 disorder, this is my mood swing at this timing. I was just sitting up, and my mood swing is about, hey, let's keep it 1,000. I have to tell it to myself. I love YouTube. I love to look at the different videos, that I can learn from and everything. And, but it's a goal that you can write your own story. But it's just not gonna happen if you ain't gonna bust a move and do something with it, do about it. That's what the name of the project, Bust a Move. Exit to Tyler. Do something different in your life. This is your bucket list. No, we don't have the money. No, you don't have the money. I understand. We don't have the money to do what, but right now we're working on the stuff that we can do. Like I said, I had to release some stuff dealing with my health, dealing with me. But along the way, we also working out and getting out this system because things are changing. Like uh, building your brand. Find, dig deep. And like I said, I do. I always get with people that need that one-on-one. I help you with your mental health challenges. I help you with those mental health challenges. You may be on disability. You may be retired. You may be working a job you hate. And some of y'all, you just can't take that chance right now. And I understand. No pressure. I know, you married, you got, you may have 8 children, you may have 5, you may have 3, you may have 4. It may have all these different situations. But you're not being selfish if you look at yourself and take the time to keep it 1,000 with you. You might have just had a baby. Okay. You might be disabled. Okay. All of that. But look at, write down what you can do and what is your first love. What's your first love that you was into, but you had to leave it when you got married, start having children? You had to drop it, and then, or you had to pick up a job to make more hours for this and that and that. You believe in God. Talk to the universe. Believe that you can bring that first love back. When you bring that first love back and feeling what you feel, that beautiful inner peace, that you feel worthy of doing your first love. I don't care if it was knitting, skating, uh, boxing. I don't care if you were playing basketball, whatever it was, traveling, or you know, whatever it was, your first love. You are worthy. Bring it back. I don't care if you did just have a baby. You do what you do for your accountability and responsibility, but you still owe it yourself. If you're a single parent, I can understand it's hard, but hey, you can take chances as you have been having children. If God is putting that in you, and you up here on, a vouch and getting you in the system, find a way to sacrifice all of every week getting the hair done, nails, eyes, just, dig deep, look at who you are, start saving, making a way to bust a move, exit to wherever, another place, a place that you could feel celebrated. You don't have to be Thailand. Do your research on YouTube. You you could get a better uh experience, better thing in life with you and your children. Yeah, you just had a baby, give it a couple of months, give it a year. And why are you doing this and up feeding the baby, or why you may be feeding the baby now, and blah blah blah, you know. Start planning your bus a move exit. Take care of your mental health. You owe that to yourself. And the baby be one by then, or 5 or 8 or 6. You may a teenager, they may be in different, timings of finishing school. And they be like, I don't want to leave my friends and blah 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 blah. But just start speaking, talking to God. Write it down, planning your bus a move exit, speaking it to yourself, seeing yourself there, doing what you're supposed to do, and the rest will follow. And you just, every now and then talk to the children and say, hey, how would you like, what do you think about this? And show them beautiful pictures and this and that. And just, start posting them around the house. Just you know, ease it, ease it. Some of you may still have adult children that you're doing things with. That's wonderful. But it may be something that need to be a change in your life. Start writing your list out. Your bus and move, BUST, bus a move, MOVE, exit to wherever you want to go. It could be another city, whatever it is. But God is shifting. He's relocating people. He's relocating, and you got to make sure you hear from God. Work start today. Something. You listening, you hearing my voice right now. God is speaking through. Just look at what can be started right now. By you listen, that's the first. That's the first. By your frequency allowing you to listen to this right now. It's confirmation. It's in your guts. It's in your guts. It's in your heart. Make that bust a move exit with you and your family. The man, head of the household. You talk it over with your spouse. You know, you just say, "Hey, honey, let's just think about it. Something to make it better for us. Transformation. We need that change." Or it may not be exactly that. Maybe it's just taking road trips. You and the children, you and your, you all might have been fussing and all month, a whole year now. Hey, babe, get that list, bust a move list, saying, look, let's start planning, doing something. I know we don't have the money, we don't see it right now. Rent a car, do something. We got to do something for our mental health. Let's bust a move, exit somewhere. You don't have to tell nobody nothing. But he may still be like, well, I don't want to leave mom right now. You know how mom is and all of that. Okay. Yeah, I know he the man of the household. Yeah, I get it. You may be the housewife and all that, and that's okay. I'm not saying go over what because you got to love him as you love God. You got to be humble. Now, I know a lot of us say, oh, shoot, honey, I do what I want to do, honey. I leave him right here. Me and the kids be gone. Yeah, I get it. Been there, done that. And then where did he get you? What's the consequences? All you do is just pray and trust in God. And when he see you moving in a different way, I know I married a man with 5 children, but it was a season with that. My girl's father. We had 2 girls together. You know, I'm 59. I'm Gen X, 1966. But what happened with us? We end up in a divorce because it wasn't the marriage is supposed to be. We did what we did without God. Oh yeah, this is the one for me. Blah blah blah, and all that kind of stuff. But you have to be held accountable. This is a season of accountability, and like I say, I'm keeping it 1,000. Keeping it 1,000, and start by the little things. Just pull away from it, and especially if you being, uh, you know, it, you just been stuck in your past and worrying about what your ex is doing. They go for man or woman. Yeah, I've been there. When they come in my spirit at times, I just pray for them. I said, Lord, have mercy on them. I pray that they okay and they're a blessing to some other. I mean, we didn't work out, but they're a blessing to somebody else. It's okay. And some of y'all ready right now. Y'all got the money, bust a move, exit. Oh, it's already planned, ready to go. Cool. Nothing wrong with that. I ain't mad at you. You know, it's time to bust a move. Keeping it 1,000. But with the Gen X, we deal with so much. Is you know some of us, see, you can only make your own self happy. Don't try to get with nobody to make you happy. You make your own self happy. Make your own self happy. And stop taking those negative energies and toxic. Watch the crowd, the people you're around. And watch the ones that, you know, if you got somebody, a friend you with, and they always buying something, buying stuff for what I don't know, just to be buying, you gonna have to exit, out that equation. That's another thing. Be careful. The kind of people, and if somebody is broke and they ain't doing nothing to better themselves, then you got to exit out that equation too. You ain't trying to be funny. And some people do change when they get money. It's like it's supposed to be for the best because of what they better themselves and got money. But if it changed them otherwise, where they just seem to be ratchet, or they're just doing stuff and telling everybody what they doing for everybody, all that kind of stuff, and always claim to be this Christian, and they doing this and doing that. You watch the fruits of the spirit. Yeah, they was a blessing, blah blah blah. But everybody we still on this journey together. Welcome back. I'm Paula. Mental illness is real, and so is God. I live with bipolar 2 disorder, and my mood swing tonight is talking about, you know, you don't have money, but you're building your brand and planning your bus of move exit to Thailand. And God has already ordained it. Can't nobody speak against it and stop it. And yes, you're supposed to move quietly, and you don't supposed to talk about what God doing. But God is shifting and making a move for everybody if you allow your mindset to go that way. Excuse me. Yeah. Yep. Just something to think about. Don't let it give you anxiety, and don't get anxious for nothing. I have to tell myself that all the time. Oh, you are worthy, and you are worth every blessing that has come to you. You know, especially if you have done what God has been telling you to do. You may not be on a job 9 to 5 and everybody around you working, but God got his chosen one, got you on post as an intercessor, as as a prayer warrior, where this is the hour you are praying for the world, and you're saving somebody way overseas that you don't even know. Yeah. You are working just like anybody else, because it takes so much out of you to be a prayer warrior. And I'm not saying you can't work and be a prayer warrior. It's just that, you know, uh, a lot of people are running from their calling. And a few of us has been chosen because the others are still running. Now, what bus or move exit are you going to really do for this year? And I know every year is like, before this year come in, every year is said the same thing. But just watch, every year is said the same thing, but have you seen yourself go another level? Higher level, higher devil, yes. But God ain't gonna put no more on you than you can bear. But then you be like, well, dang, God been revealed to you, you carrying some people burdens that you don't supposed to be carrying. And then some stuff you just bringing on yourself. And I'm talking to myself too. You know, you got to look at what is you really carrying? What's going on? I'm just keeping it 1,000 now. Keeping it 1,000. This is the real deal right here. And this is all about your mental health challenges and alignment. That's what I do with you, one-on-one and groups. Your personal alignment of you. A lot of us, it we have to take that chance to invest in ourselves because you're worthy. You're worthy. Don't think just because you've been at home and you just taking care of children, you ain't done nothing, you ain't working. Oh, honey, that's a ministry and ministry and a ministry within itself. And it's okay. And if your husband is the breadwinner, hey. And I know at times you don't like his decisions, but you got to trust God. You got to trust God. And if you're single and got children, God is the head, is your Father, Heavenly Father. You got to really trust God for guidance because there's so many us women has been single parents, and there's a lot of men that come out of divorce that have children. I get it. I get it. And a lot of women that they're independent, they got it together, but they can't keep a man because they're too independent. And I'm speaking to myself as well, because especially if you have grown children at home and they're men. Look at that picture, baby boy. Google it. Watch that movie, Baby Boy. Some of us ain't going to be able to keep a man if the man ain't going to feel like he's the head of the house. And that's the same way with men that have daughters, grown daughters in there. It goes on both sides, the man or the woman who's single and got grown children living home with them. I know it's not easy, it's hard right now, and it's good. Everybody pulling in together, but you got to have some boundaries and respect for each other. And whoever you date, of course, eventually, if it's that serious, of course you want them to meet the family. You already got grown children and everything, of course. But you got to make sure God is in that. Ain't no man not gonna like that. If he's in between jobs, and he want to still feel like he the king. It's not for you to just come in there and think you can just, he done did everything, and unless that he agree that he'll be the house husband or something and take care of the house. That's on y'all. But don't think you can get out there and work independent women, and you get a man and you think, you done worked all day, you tired, and you get in there and you ready to cuddle with him and all that stuff. Excuse me. Yeah, that man, he gonna take on them same feeling like the woman. Oh, that man always out there working. My husband always out there working. We living like the Joneses, though. We keeping up with things. Ain't nothing wrong with it, no shade. But if you got to work 2 or 3 jobs just to live a certain way, doggone it. No. You talking about having 8 sources of income and all that stuff. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that, but when and can you live? Oh yeah, I know it's some income when you know you can make money while you sleep. Excuse me. Nothing wrong with that. I know some of us was on TikTok and you doing these challenges and doing it, doing that. I said, when God told me to shut that thing down, I ain't studying about those doggone how many people, you know. And especially he got you on more than one platform. Excuse me. Because some of them he gonna tell you to shut it down. And don't allow nobody to make you go on something he done told you to shut down because it ain't gonna work. He'll tell me to shut something down for a whole year sometimes. A platform. You can't allow people to pull you out your seasons and into, you got to be careful. Got to be careful. You know, some of y'all on this night job probably working, listening to me. I give God the praise. You know, it's gonna be okay. You done your part, but you still got to have a hold accountable for things. And I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody ain't gonna everybody not don't feel about your children the way you do. Whether they are genius or whatever they are, you just make sure that you are not, you know, just stopping them from some certain growth or you being in the way. You can have everything you want, the money, the whatever you inventing, whatever what projects that you creating, have all of that. But you got to be careful. Don't mess up their growth. Let that man be a man. Dad, treat when you're out there dating and your daughters are watching you, you treat the way you treat your mom, you treat your daughter, treat the other person like that too. You just because you had a bad upbringing and all that kind of stuff or something, dealing with your mom, you don't take it out on other women. You need to go get doggone help. You need a therapist. You know, let them men be men, moms. You know, dads show accountability. Um, you know, let those young ladies, your daughters, show that, see that you respect women and have boundaries. Respect, you know. That goes for, children, parents. You be careful how you treat one another. I used to hate and just I just wonder about Mother's Day. That's I'm keeping it 1,000. I used to hate to see Mother's Day come around because I wasn't able to take care of my children all full turn. And oh wow, I wonder is they gonna call, and it just puts you in a ooh in a bad space that really messes with your mental health. You can't allow people to control your space. And that's why I say I hate Mother's Day. Every day is Mother's Day. Give them the flowers while they're alive. But also, mothers, we have to be held accountable. You know, I'm not saying dragging our past in our future, all that. I'm talking about hold accountable of just we got to still watch our step because we play such a big role as a earthly mom. We're earthly moms. Just like we have heavenly fathers, God is our heavenly father. And this not, and everybody, you may not agree with this, but I'm just going by what keeping it 1,000, what God says. You know, you be careful. It's not meant for everybody to be. I know entrepreneurs. You know, somebody got to be on a 9 to 5 or 11 to 7 job or 3 to 7. Some people entrepreneurs. You know, but everybody can create. Like I say, everybody don't feel about your children the way you feel about them. And yes, you can adopt, you can be foster care, you can be all of that. God, mom, God, dad, whatever. And that's good. But stop being that, just allowing, you know, we think we got it all together and we are monitoring spirits and we are got game stalkers, having folks looking at look at so and laughing and all this and stuff, be careful. Be careful. Because God ain't playing about his chosen ones. I'm guilty too. Yep, I'm guilty. This is the season of accountability. You got to take accountability. Oh, yes. You are worthy. I am worthy. That person worthy. I don't care how long they've been on their job and how good they good at what they do. But God got who he got in position as intercessors and chosen ones, and it's not no pretty thing. You are exhausted. It's exhausting to be an intercessor and a prayer warrior and stuff. I'm talking about full time. I'm talking about the ones who don't have jobs and God got and he allowed them to be on the government with the system and stuff. All that ain't nothing but something temporary. Even if you disable or whatever. Don't allow nobody make you feel bad because of the blessings that you have. You earned that. If you worked since you was 16 or whatever, and you are a senior citizen and you need whatever it needs from the government or whatever, then you do what you do. Take it. But it's temporary. Don't let because somebody grew up in a certain way that, they didn't like how they grew up and how this happened and it's just you and you need this stuff right now. They're getting on folks that is able bodies that been there just because they got children. They caught on that's why a lot of people having more than so many children to stay thinking they racking up on the system, but it's backfiring. you know. But yeah, God, be careful. Some of us got clients. Keep it 1,000. Especially them clients that got money and everything and stuff. What I'm talking about. Certain clients that are certain supporters. They don't give a damn about you. You just make your bread and get on. Make your money and do what you got and get on. They don't care. And some you know, very few care. Stop trying to rub shoulders with them and all that stuff, thinking they're gonna leave you something. Everybody got they jealous of something. Everybody got a little something to jealous about. Be somebody that don't have nothing, can't pay their bill, to somebody who have money, and but they're jealous because you got the freedom to use your gifts in certain ways. Somebody's gonna always be envy of something. Oh yeah, keeping it 1,000, and I wish y'all the best, but I see you in the spirit. I see you. God says you are worthy. God says you are worthy. Don't allow nobody to make you feel and tell you nothing else different. I don't care how much weight they've lost, how they look, how much butt they got and don't, or whatever they got. Men, it goes the same way. I don't care how your physique is, whatever. Those petty spirits ain't gonna get you nowhere. Yes, be proud of yourself, but stay humble. Don't be, we've all had that narcissistic kind of air about ourselves, but guess what? God has always found a way to knock it down to make you humble again. God is so good. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. Keeping it 1,000. God is speaking. He gets on me, and I'm just a messenger. When you do what you're supposed to do and been doing what God has you to do, like I said, everybody is going to be blessed triple time. We may not all get there at the same time, but it's going to happen. You're not going to be the only one blessed. God take care of his children. He takes care of his children. And remember, the tables can turn if you don't be careful. The last is first and the first is last. We've been there. We know. We know what it's like to get a little something in our pockets. Then we get beside ourselves. We start smelling ourselves. We start, then God would take us through stuff. And then he gives us another chance and give it back. And a lot of times 100 folds. But he don't give it to us for us to flash it all over the internet. Setting yourself up to be robbed or whatever to happen. You know, when people are out there having a hard time, and it's a lot of people on the internet, they're just searching for answers. They don't want to look at your flashiness. They're searching for answers and an escape. They want to, you know, God is so good. He's so good. I am so grateful. You all be blessed. I love you. And Jesus love you more.